Join with Monsterboy Roc. Welcome, friends, family, and fellow viewers to the 8th annual Drawing with Monsterboy Roc Inktober edition video. I am Monsterboy Roc, of course, and it is time once again for me to grab some paper, grab some ink, and hopefully grab some creative brain cells from the old mind here so that I can create 31 brand new comics from 31 prompt words all throughout the month of October, which naturally has 31 days. And as usual, I'm joined by my very good friend who will tell me what the prompt words for the event are and will read the comics after I finish drawing them, Sir Seymour, the Inktober skeleton assistant.
That's right, Roc. Greetings, citizens. I'm so delighted that the most wonderful time of the year is back.
I thought that was Christmas.
Inktober is my Christmas, Roc, and this year's one will be quite a doozy, I assure you.
I'll bet. Now, for last year's event, I used a certain little witch and her pet cat that you may all know by now. But all the years before that, I used characters from my passion project, The Secret Beauty. For this year's event, I decided that we should go back to The Secret Beauty. Yeah, you don't have to play the cue again. Thank you. And revisit my original characters once more. But first, I need to find out what the prompt words for the event are so I can begin to draw them. So tell me, Sir Seymour, what are the prompt words for the first week of this year's Inktober?
Well, Roc, the first 7 prompt words for Inktober 2024 are backpack, discover, boots, exotic, binoculars, trek, and passport.
Excellent. Well, then I'm just about ready to get started. Of course, I have plenty of ink from my Mincho pigment liner pens, which I'll grab some of them out right now. There we are. Now for paper this year, I decided instead of using my sketchbook like I usually do, I would instead try out these lineless 6x4 index cards that I bought. Now I've been using index cards for quite a few of my drawings recently. In fact, you might have already seen some of those drawings here on my YouTube channel. There's a few shorts that I posted where I drew some completely hand-drawn index card drawings featuring some of my characters. And although the cards look small, the drawings that I draw into them actually turn out pretty nice, as you'll see in just a moment. So, let me just place one of these cards right about there. And now, I will just open up one of my pens, and without any further ado, Inktober 2024 has officially begun. So, let's get started, shall we? The first prompt word for this year is backpack, and for this first comic, I'm gonna do a story starring River and her little dog Sam, in which Sam is inside River's backpack.
Sam, what are you doing inside my backpack, you silly little dog? I want to go to school with you today. I miss you when you're not here.
Prompt word number 2 is discover, and this comic is about River and her best friend Russell in their very favorite place, the Secret Beauty. And one day, while they're swimming near the waterfall of the Secret Beauty, they end up discovering a hidden cave behind it.
Wow, look, Russell! I just discovered a hidden cave behind the falls! Yeesh. It looks so dark and creepy inside, River. What do you say we do ourselves a favor and undiscover this cave?
For the third prompt word, boot, I'm gonna do a comic with Melanie and Lisa. And in this comic, Melanie shows Lisa her brand new snow boots.
Hey, Melanie! Wow, I love those new snow boots you have on. Only, why are you wearing snow boots now when there's no snow in sight? You know how my mother is, Lisa. She always wants me to break in my snow boots before the snow comes, which would be fine, except she makes me wear them so much I always wear them out before a single snowflake hits the ground. I'll tell you something, Lisa. My mom is one Cocoa Puff short of a cuckoo.
Next is Exotic. And for this comic, I'm gonna do a story starring Frankie and Petunia, in which it's Frankie's birthday, and Petunia gives him a very special sculpture that she made of an exotic bird.
Happy birthday, Frankie. I know how much you love birds, so I sculpted what I thought was the most interesting looking exotic bird I could find in your bird book. Wow, the hoopoo bird. I love it, Petunia. Thank you. You really captured their likeness, right down to their crown of feathers.
Okay, for binoculars, I'm gonna continue off of yesterday's comic, in which it's still Frankie's birthday. And for his birthday, his parents got him a brand new pair of binoculars for his bird watching, which he absolutely loves to do.
I'm so happy Mom and Dad gave me these cool new binoculars for my birthday. These are gonna come quite in handy with my bird watching. Wait! I think I just spotted a whole family of purple martins! Awesome!
Trek is prompt word number 6. And for this comic, I'm gonna do a story starring Russell and his dad, Maiko, in which they are on a mountain trekking trip.
Dad, why did I let you talk me into going on this mountain trekking trip with you? Because mountain trekking is fun, Russell. It's an adventure. It's an experience. It's the reason my poor aching feet are gonna fall off, Dad.
To wrap up Inktober 2024 week number 1 with the prompt word passport, I'm gonna do a story starring River's parents, Steven and Jolie, as well as her dog Sam. And in this comic, Sam runs off with Steven and Jolie's passports. And this is a very big deal because they're going out of town on a very special trip.
Come on, Sam, give back our passports. We won't be able to go to Paris for a second honeymoon if you chew them all up. Sure we will, Steven. It'll just have to be Paris, Texas.
Well, that was week number 1. And as you can see, I've already got a small pile going for all the comics that I've made. And there's no doubt that this pile is going to get bigger and bigger. Except for the fact that I need to find out what the prompt words for week number 2 are.
And I'm ready to give them to you, Roc.
Well, that's wonderful, Sir Seymour. What are they?
For week number 2, the following prompt words are as such. Hike, sun, nomadic, snacks, remote, horizon, and roam.
Got it. Okay, now let's begin week number 2 with prompt word number 8, hike. In this comic, River and her family are hiking up a hill, and River is having the most splendid time. Her parents, on the other hand, not so much.
Come on, you guys, we're nearly halfway up the hill. Don't quit on me now. Boy, you know, hiking up hills is nowhere near as easy as it was when we were River's age. To be young again. Hey, quit holding up the line, old-timers.
The next prompt word is sun. And for this comic, I'm going to use a yellow Sharpie to draw the sun. And after that, I'll go back to my pens to draw the rest of the story. And the story for this one is that River, Russell, and Sam are on top of a hill enjoying the nice warm day created by the sun.
Boy, that sun is beating down extra hard today. It feels so nice and warm. Enjoy it now, River, because as soon as winter gets here and snow is all around us, you'll be begging for it to be this nice and warm again. You just love being pessimistic, don't you? If it were a job, I would be Employee of the Month.
Nomadic is prompt word number 10, and for this comic, I'm going to do a story starring Petunia and her mother Penny, in which Petunia is making a diorama for school all about nomads.
My diorama all about nomads for school is turning out really nice. Hey Mom, did you know that nomads are people who never stay in one place for very long? They roam the earth, going from one place to another, so they can find things like food and pasture. Why yes, Petunia, I did know that. I went to school when I was your age too, you know. Oh, yeah, right.
The next prompt word is snacks, and for this comic, I'm going to do a story starring River, Russell, and Sam, in which they are sitting under the tree in River's backyard and enjoying some delicious snacks.
Ah, this is the light, just sitting under the tree on a nice cool autumn day and enjoying some delicious snacks. Me with my popcorn, Russell with his potato chips, and Sam with his doggy biscuits. If this isn't heaven, I don't know what is.
Okay, the next prompt word is remote, and this story is going to have River, Russell, and Sam. And in this story, River and Russell want to watch TV, but the batteries in the remote have completely vanished. I wonder why.
I don't know what happened, Russell, but the batteries inside the TV remote just completely vanished, along with all the other batteries in the house. I guess we can't watch TV right now. Gee, what a shame. I wonder what could have happened to them. Oh well, I guess you two will just have to spend the whole day with me. Golly gee, what a pickle.
It's time for lucky number 13, and for this prompt word, horizon, I'm going to do a comic with River and Sam, in which they're out on the beach watching the sun set over the horizon.
Sam, I'm so happy that you've come out here with me to the beach tonight to watch the sunset over the horizon. It's such a beautiful sight. It is a beautiful sight, River, but when's dinner? Because that would be the most beautiful sight.
To wrap up the second week of Inktober 2024 prompt words with the prompt word roam, I'm going to do a story with River and Sam, roaming around the park on a beautiful day.
Ah, it's such a lovely day to just roam around the park. After all, it gives us a chance to smell all of the wonderful flowers around here. Except for maybe the ones that are covered with bees! Bees! Why is it always bees?
And that wraps up the second week of this year's Inktober. And what did I tell you? This pile is getting bigger. Now before we head into week 3, I want to take just a moment of your time to talk about a new project of mine that I'm very excited to share with all of you. And that project is the debut volume of my brand new comic book series, Emily and Jerry and Lucy. Thank you guys. Thank you. You can stop playing now. Stop playing, you mini musicians. Stop! Just cut to the trailer. Cut to the trailer. Cut. From Art to Life artist Rocco DeCaro comes 15 brand new comic strips in one hilariously heartfelt collection. All about a little girl named Emily who sets off to make the best of every single day her way, alongside her little brother Jerry and her big sister Lucy. It's Emily's world, and she's inviting you into it. It's Emily's Family Fun Tales, the first volume of Emily and Jerry and Lucy, now available on Amazon. If you want to check out the book for yourselves, I'll have a link to it down in the description. But for right now, let's get back to drawing some Inktober comics, shall we? Okay, Seymour, what are the next 7 prompt words?
Well, the next 7 prompt words are as follows, Roc. Guidebook, grungy, journal, drive, ridge, uncharted, and rhinoceros.
Very well then, off I go. Guidebook is the first prompt word of week number 3. And for this comic, I'm gonna do a story with River and her grandmother, in which they make a special guidebook all about the secret beauty.
Thanks for helping me make this guidebook of the entire Secret Beauty, Grandma. Oh, you're very welcome, dear. Now when you bring your friends over to the Secret Beauty, you can show them that book, and it'll tell them everything they need to know about that special, magical place.
The next prompt word is grungy. For this comic, I'm gonna do a story with Jessica and Frankie, in which Jessica shows up to school appearing to look a little grungy.
Don't you say a word about how I look, Frankie. I'm still recovering from this nasty cold I caught, and I know that I look like a grungy old mess. But Jessica, no matter how you look, in my eyes, you'll always be the most beautiful girl in the world. Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Journal is the next prompt word, and for this comic, I'm gonna do a story in which River is writing in her journal about her wonderful day at the Secret Beauty with her best friend Russell.
Dear Journal, Russell and I had such a wonderful day over at the Secret Beauty. We had a picnic, we swam in the river, and finally, we watched the sunset. We even held hands for a whole minute while watching the sunset. I wish it could have been longer, dear Journal. I wish I could just tell Russell how I feel about him. Maybe someday I'll be able to muster up enough courage to tell him. Maybe someday. Signing off for now. Love, your friend, River.
For Drive, I'm gonna do a comic with River and her father Steven, in which they're driving around town in their car. It's as simple as that.
Ah, it's such a lovely day to go for a drive around town. Right, sweetheart? Yeah, sure, Dad. Are we there yet?
The next prompt word is Ridge, and this comic is going to be about River and Sam going on their regular weekend walk. but this weekend walk happens on a sandbar.
Well, Sam, now that it's fall, Mom and Dad thinks it's too cool outside to take our weekend walks along the beach. But they didn't say anything about walking along this little sandbar, which admittedly feels even cooler than the beach, but it also looks cooler, so why should I complain? Whoa!
It's time for the 20th prompt word, and that prompt word is uncharted. For this comic, I'm gonna do a story with River, Russell, and Sam swimming in a boat that they made, but they end up swimming into uncharted waters.
Huh, that's funny. The Secret Beauty River just led our boat to this lake that doesn't seem to be anywhere on the map my grandmother drew up for us. Wait, are you saying that we're lost? No, Russell, I'm not saying that. I'm merely saying that you don't know where we are. Yeah, newsflash, River. That means we're lost!
Let's wrap up week 3 of this year's Inktober event with the prompt word rhinoceros. And naturally in this comic, Sam ends up coming across a very angry rhinoceros.
Nice, Rhino. Good, Rhino. You don't want to hurt little old me. I'm too adorable to die.
Well, with 21 comics complete now, that means there are only 10 more comics to draw for this year's Inktober event. And as we head into week number 4, that means we need to find out what the first 7 of those final 10 prompt words are. Right, Seymour?
Right, Rock. Ready to hear what they are?
Absolutely. Ready to tell me what they are?
You betcha. The next 7 prompt words are camp, rust, expedition, scarecrow, camera, road, and jumbo.
Okay, to begin week 4 with the prompt word camp, I'm going to do a story in which River, Russell, and Sam are out camping. River is having the very best time camping, but Russell is not. Why? Well, you'll see in just a moment.
I just love to go camping, don't you, Russell? Oh yeah, sure. And I see that these pesky little mosquitoes love it too. Oh, well, don't worry. All you have to do is stay perfectly still and they won't bother you. Wait, no, that's for bees.
For Rust, I'm going to do a comic with Lamar and his father Bill. Lamar's soccer goal in his backyard is getting very old, so old that it's starting to be covered with rust, and he asks his father if he can get a replacement goal.
Dad, I think it's time to get a new soccer goal for the backyard. What are you talking about? It's still standing, the net still catches the balls with ease. I don't see what the problem is, son. Well, do you see all this yucky, mucky stuff all around the framing of the goal? Yeah, that's rust, Dad. That's the problem. Yes, but it's not a $500 replacement problem, Lamar. Once the rust eats through all the framing, then we'll talk.
Remember the comic at the beginning of this video where River and Russell discover a cave? Well, for this prompt word, expedition, I'm gonna do a follow-up story in which River and Russell invite all of their friends on an expedition through the cave to discover what is on the other side.
Alright team, today we begin our expedition to try and find out what is on the other side of this cave that Russell and I found the other day. Now it might take hours, heck, it might even take days to find the end of this cave. But in the end, I'm sure it's all going to be worth it. That's great, but do you think we can stop for a bathroom break before we get too far along on this expedition?
For Scarecrow, I'm gonna do a comic in which Sam goes to River's school because they have a garden there, and River bought a scarecrow to scare away all the crows from the garden. Little does she know, it does basically nothing.
Boy, this scarecrow River bought for the school garden sure isn't doing a very good job scaring away any crows. Maybe she accidentally bought a help yourself crow.
And now for camera, I'm gonna do a comic in which River's father, Steven, finds a camera in the upstairs closet, and he assumes that it belongs to his mother, Rosalinda, and he decides to give it back to her.
Hey Mom, I found this old camera of yours in the upstairs closet. I figured I'd give it back to you. But that's not my camera, Steven. That camera belongs to River. Really? Huh. I never knew River loved antiques so much. Of course, I guess I should have. She does love you after all. Hardy har har.
Only 5 more prompt words remain for this event, and the first of those is road. For this comic, Sam runs into his arch nemesis Whiskers as he's walking down an endlessly long road. Why? Well, you'll find out in just a second.
Man, whichever dog decides to bury their favorite bone at the other end of this endlessly long road surely has to be an idiot. So why are you walking down this road today, dog? Oh, you know, I'm going to dig up my favorite bone.
Continuing off of the Expedition comic, which in of itself is continuing off of the Discover comic, this comic with the last prompt word for week number 4, Jumbo, follows the kids reaching the end of the cave and discovering something on the other side that is very, very big. You might even say it is jumbo-sized.
Well, team, at last we found the end of the cave. Yeah, and it looks like we found what's on the other side, too. Man, that has got to be the biggest pumpkin in the entire universe. Yeah, the pie that's baked from this pumpkin would surely be ginormous.
Well, that makes 28 comics done and added to my little pile of Inktober comics for the year, which in all honesty isn't looking very little anymore. But Inktober's not quite over yet. This is October after all, not February.
Even if it were, this year's a leap year.
True. But nevertheless, I still have 3 more comics to draw for the event. Therefore, I need to find out what the last 3 prompt words are. Sir Seymour?
Way ahead of you, Roc. The last 3 prompt words for Inktober 2024 are Navigator, Violin, and finally, Landmark.
Excellent. Well then, let's start wrapping this event up right. Here I go. So for Navigator, I'm gonna do a comic in which River's father, Steven, bought a great big ship that he has named himself the Navigator of. Needless to say, River and his wife, Julie, are a little bit nervous.
Dad, are you sure you know where we're sailing off to in this great big ship of yours? Of course I do, sweetheart. I am the navigator of this ship after all, and a ship's navigator always knows where to sail. River Honey that Steven talked for, we're better off jumping overboard and just try to swim back to shore.
This year's penultimate prompt word is violin, and for this comic, Jessica is practicing the violin, and she's showing off her violin playing skills to River and Sam, or lack thereof.
Wow, Jessica, I didn't know you could play the violin. Well, that's because I don't know how to play the violin, River, but I just love listening to violin music, so I'm trying to learn how to play. Maybe someday I'll be a real world-class violin player. But certainly not today.
And at last, we have reached the last prompt word of Inktober 2024, landmark. For this final comic, River and Russell are in a hot air balloon so that they can fly up close to a very notable landmark.
I'm so glad you came with me and my family to visit our old home, Russell, but we just couldn't leave until you've seen Chicago's beloved landmark up close, the Sears Tower. Sears Tower? I thought it was called Willis Tower. Russell, nobody in Chicago calls it Willis Tower. You'd think after being here a whole week you would have picked that up by now. Oh well, silly me for assuming, I guess.
And that, everybody, brings us to the end of the 8th installment of Drawing with Monsterboy Roc Inktober Edition. And as you can see right here, I have once again managed to turn out all 31 comics based off of all 31 prompt words for the event.
And they all turned out pretty nice, Roc, if I do say so myself.
Well, thank you, Seymour. I'm very glad you like them. And I hope that all of you like them too. I, of course, always enjoy sharing these comics with each and every one of you. And while this year's Inktober event has drawn to a close, no pun intended, you can always go back and read any of this year's comics whenever you'd like to. All you have to do is go over to my Instagram, The Secret Beauty Drawings, or my Facebook, The Secret Beauty Drawing, or even my Twitter, Secret Beauty Art. You can find all 3 of those links in the description down below, and you can read all these comics, as well as the other comics I made from the last 7 Inktobers I participated in. On top of all that, you'll also be able to find the link to the last video I did, that video being the latest installment of the Inktober Adjacent Challenge that I am also participating in currently, which is Inktober 52. So if you haven't seen that video, you can view it there. Also, please be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified for whenever I make a video, and if you want to go back and check out all of my videos, including the Inktober ones, I have a playlist called Drawing with Monsterboy Roc, in which you can view all of my episodes from latest to oldest, and you can view them all there. With that, I bid Inktober 2024 adieu, and I also bid you adieu. Thank you all so much for watching this video today.
And we hope all of you citizens out there have a very, very nice day.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Sir Seymour. Well, we'll both see you all again very, very soon, but until then, take care, everybody.